Difficult.
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु
Sadhu
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
Sarvavijayam
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Welcome to the last day of the Totakashtaka series of talks. Congratulations to all who have survived and continue to be present, which is in itself a great blessing. And so that is nice, that is wonderful. So we are in the middle of the seventh verse, I think. Yeah. Man cow, Guru Pungava. Yeah, so not man cow, the most exalted among all the gurus. Okay. Guru Pungava Pungava Ketanate Samataamayatam nahi kopi sudhihi Sharanagata vatsala tatvanidhe Bhavashankara deshikame sharanam Bhavashankara deshikam me sharanam. So, Gurunam Pungava, we saw that. Just to recap, the one who is the best among the gurus. As I told you, the what's its name? The metaphor operates slightly differently in Sanskrit. So you don't say the bull among gurus, and you don't say like that. So we talk about it more as the best among the gurus, the most exalted among all the gurus. This is how to understand it. This is the way to understand it. Okay. Then, so that is one word. Hey Guru Pungava, vocative case. So, Hey Guru Pungava, oh the most exalted among the gurus. He's addressing him directly. Hey Guru Pungava, and then another one, another compound. Hey Pungava Ketana. So the first one is, what we call Shashti Tat Purusha Samasa, the best among the gurus, or among all the gurus the best. So like this, Gurunam Madhye Pungava, the Shreshtha, like this. And then the next one is describing the person. It's not describing the flag of the bull flag, but the person who wields the bull flag or has the bull as the mascot. It's more like a Bahuvrihi Samasa. Pungavaha Ketanam Yasya, like that. It will be describing not the flag, but the point is the Tatparya is not the flag but the person carrying the flag. So why would somebody carry the flag? So yesterday I explained in detail, it is the mascot of the what they are specializing in. So all the Ishta Devatas have Vahanas, and then even Arjuna in the battlefield is called Kapidhwaja. Kapidhwaja, because he asked Hanumanji, who had a very long life and who survived from one yuga to another, and then he was there, and he was very old Hanumanji by that time. And since he liked the Ravana Rama fight war, he was invited very, very humbly by Arjuna to come and fight this war as well. And he had no interest. He said, I'm not in that place anymore. I'm an old man, old Vanara, sorry, and I'm just, no, you have to be in the battlefield and bless me. Okay, I'll sit on the top post of your chariot in the form of a flag. I'm not capable of much right now, he said, but I can still talk and I'll make terrible noises, screeching noises. And he made those screeching noises whenever the Kauravas were having the, what is that called, having moments of almost winning. So he would make screeching noises and everybody would just, it's almost like you can poison somebody through some kind of sound waves. Yeah, you can make them go crazy. You can give them migraine headaches for life, because this is the human range of hearing is only this much, and then certain other things you don't hear, but then you can kind of mess with the hearing by screeching at some kind of ultrasound frequencies, perhaps, I don't know. But this is what happened. I mean, even now they are trying to find out what happened to the US diplomatic personnel in Cuba, who all have migraine headaches, and they are saying that some kind of a sound poison was used, some other frequency sound made them, messed with their minds and their, of course, their hearing, and they made them get headaches. So like this here, Hanumanji sat on Arjuna's post and made terrible screeching noises, and then all the Kauravas held their heads, cried, "Mummy, mummy," and left the battlefield with migraine headaches. So that was his contribution. But the point is, Arjuna is known as Kapidhvaja, and here, Pungava Ketana, the one who has, a flag of the bull. In other words, Lord Dakshinamurti. And Lord Dakshinamurti, why? Because Lord Dakshinamurti is credited with the dispelling of Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance. And so I told you yesterday in detail about that small, underformed adult child, man child, woman child, at the foot of the Lord, and that is called Apasmara, the one who haunts through bad memories and nightmares. That is what it is. It represents the unconscious within every jiva. It represents the sum total of insecurities, raga, dvesha, painful memories, and all, the subjectivity coming from unresolved pains and sorrows of the past. And Kapidhvaja, sorry, not Kapidhvaja, Pungadhvaja, Pungaketana means the one who, in whose Sharanagati all this goes away. All this one who absorbs. For whom? The one who for the ones who surrender, not for the ones who don't surrender. You see, this knowledge is something to be chosen. And you don't expect the guru, I mean, in any tradition this is true, you don't expect the guru to start looking for students. Tum kaha ho? I really want you. This is some kind of a messed up spiritual romanticism, and it is okay for a class prom, high school prom, theek hai, somebody should choose me, theek hai. That is fine. But here, in most traditions, who chooses who? The guru doesn't have the pressure to choose the shishyas and say, I appoint you as my shishya. And I tell you, if any guru does that, please run away from them as fast as you can. Bhago, dodo, run. Run away from them, because that is not the point at all. That is a very sad state of affairs when the guru of Vedanta Shastra, especially, is on the lookout for students. Let me catch hold of somebody. Why? Because I'm lonely and bored, and all this knowledge I have to give to somebody. This kind of pressure is not there for any teacher of Vedanta worth their worth their weight. It's not there. It cannot be there, because the teaching is what the teaching itself removes all the pressures. The teaching removes the pressure to go in search of anybody, least of all students, to try to share this knowledge. That is also a pressure. It can be a wonderful desire, a non-binding desire. It may be. A non-binding means if there is an opportunity to teach, well and good. If there is no opportunity to teach, even better. I'll enjoy the knowledge myself. That is the idea. That is the whole idea. It is a life totally dedicated to freedom from pressure. So there is no pressure on part of Adi Shankara to say, "Arey, only 4 students, only 4 students, I should look for more." No. So it is incumbent upon the student to say, "I have something wrong with me. I don't feel okay because I am not what? I am not completely, I am not understanding the truth of myself. I am not completely okay because I have self-ignorance." So the one who claims the self-ignorance, that ahankara avachinna chaitanya, that same self, limitlessly whole self chaitanya, that sentient consciousness, as though identified with the ahankara, says, "I am ignorant, I need a teacher, please accept me as your student." Then the teacher says, "Okay." That is where the unconscious mind, etc., has a chance to resolve, because you have made the initiative to choose. That is the whole thing here. So so here Pungava Ketana means the one, there is a signpost. Here is Lord Dakshinamurti like teacher. There is a signpost, and because other people are going to study. And then, so there is a way that that this person knows, and I'd like to choose this person. So there are signs that this person can teach. And so here it is incumbent upon the student to seek the knowledge. And so here Totakacharya is demonstrating this at the end of every verse. "O Shankara, you are my refuge." So then here he is lauding him. He is appreciating the Guru as the most exalted, the stalwart Guru in my life, the most exalted of all Gurus, the one who is an avatara of Lord Dakshinamurti himself. Why? Because the only thing he does is teach self-knowledge, remove self-ignorance. And then the next, this the Guru Pungava we saw, Pungava Ketana we saw, and this goes into the next line. The goes with Samatam Ayatam Nahi Kopi Sudhihi. Samatam Na Ayatam Kopi Sudhihi. That is the Anvaya. So Samatam means equal to you. Equal to you in what? In Samadarshanam. Equal to you in understanding this oneness. Samatam here, oneness. Not samatvam here, samatam, oneness. The vision of Vedanta, oneness. Samatam, ayatam. Ayati means goes. The verb to go. Most of the verbs in the Sanskrit language preponderates with verbs to go. So and then by a general rule, all the verbs to go have the sense of to know. And so what is that? Jnanam gacchati, goes to the knowledge, means gains the knowledge. Samatam ayatam, they go to the vision. And then it is negated. Na ayatam, they don't gain the vision. Na ayatam, samatam, na ayatam, they don't gain the vision. Who? Kopi, no one. Kaha api na samatam ayatam te. Na te samatam ayatam. Te samatam na ayatam. They don't have what you have. Oh, son like Guru. Oh, son like the avatara of Lord Dakshinamurti. Oh, the best among all the teachers. Nobody can hold a candle to you. And then when he says that, we are not talking of the masses, am janata. We are not talking of just general people, masses by the roadside. Of course they will not hold a candle to a guru like Adi Shankara. What's the big deal to mention that? But here is a word, sudhihi. Sudhihi means other scholars. Sushtudhihi yasya sudhihi, the ones that are endowed with great intellect. So great scholars, great teachers, they may be many, but na ayatam samatam te, they are not at all equal to you. How does Totaka know? Has he done a PhD thesis on all the gurus? He doesn't need to. This is a depiction of his Shraddha and his knowledge of his teacher. He doesn't need to go and visit every class of every teacher, because the son like Adi Shankara, and his clarity and the depth of his vision is so evident, is so much on display. And he says that samatam ayatam, and then what? Nobody can hold a candle to you. Samatam na ayatam, because the na, the negative particle, always goes before the verb, unless you are a skilled poet like Totaka. Then you can put it anywhere and get away with it, because you know the language, you know the meter, and you have to fit it properly. But if we were talking, we would say te samatam na ayatam kopi sudhihi. So nobody has gained the vision like you have, and nobody has the clarity to teach and to dispel the ignorance like you have. And then finally the last line, nobody has what? Sharanagata vatsalya. Sharanagata vatsala tattva nidhet. Sharanagata vatsalya only you have. Vatsala means mother-like, the one endowed with mother-like love. For whom? Sharanagatam. For the ones who have taken refuge in your feet, at your feet. Again, Adi Shankara or any guru doesn't have the pressure to be loving, unconditionally compassionate and loving to all the people at large. It is to the people who have taken refuge, meaning what? Meaning that there is a connection between taking refuge at the feet of the teacher and then experiencing that sense of validation that you are okay, because that is what the teacher is going to tell you. You are okay. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not this body mind sense complex. You are Satchidanandam Brahma. In other words, you are the all pervasive Atma. This is where one has to grow to recognize that. One has to grow to just be in that identification all the time. That is the teaching, and that happens with the loving knowledge. In fact, giving of the knowledge is an act of love, because the teacher doesn't have to teach, but the teacher teaches because there is a sense of connection and love. And then so that is why the teacher teaches. That is how the teacher teaches. It's an outpouring of love. And it's not that the people who don't surrender cannot experience this love. But the surrender here, what is the difference here? The surrender means receptivity. The love is always overflowing. The compassion is there. It's like the expression we have. You can take the horse to the water, but nobody can make it drink. So here, the compassion of the Guru flows like the Ganga, but as the student, one has to go there, bend and drink. That is the whole idea. That is why Sharanagatam, Vatsalah. So for the one who is mother like to the people who have taken a refuge, who have taken refuge in that person, in that teacher, the one who has taken refuge. That is the Sharanagati here. And that Sharanagati is nothing. It's not some kind of a recognizing the guru as a big boss. That's not the point. It's not saying that, oh, you know and I don't know. That is not even the point. The point of Sharanagati is to accept that I am in need of teaching, is to ask for the teaching, and to open the heart and the mind. So surrender means it is not to another person. In fact, one is finally surrendering to one's own ignorance and saying, I want you gone. I want you gone. I want you gone, because that's why I'm surrendering to the Shastra, the source of the knowledge. I'm surrendering my ignorance to the source of the knowledge, which is embodied in the teacher, and then I want it gone. And so therefore the surrender is not to a person, as I pointed out in the beginning. The surrender is to understand I cannot tackle this Atma Ajnanam on my own. How can you tackle it? Who is to be known? I. Who is the knower? I. Already there is what we call Kartra Karma Virodha, a contradiction between the knower and the known. How can the knower be the same as the known? Well, it is. I am the knower, I am the known, but I here is the mind. I here is the is seen as the body. I here is seen as the ahankara. So then the mind is of no use in knowing this knowledge. No use at all. Yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasasah. The mind and the speech, they go for a walk. They are great friends. We have seen this many times. They go for a nice walk and they decide to, they don't have much to do. They have named everything in the universe. The mind has categorized everything, and the speech has named everything in the universe. So the mind and the vak go for a walk. Okay, yeah. So so vak goes for a walk with the mind, and then both of them hand in hand are skipping along, and then then what happens? They both plot that they are going to name and categorize and catch Brahman, so that they can pin Brahman down, nail down Brahman. I have nailed it, the mind wants to say, and I have named it, the vak wants to say, and both of them go. And then what? They both come back exhausted. They need a vacay after this. Vacay. Yeah. Vak and mind need a nice vacay. And then if you say, did you find Brahman? They go like this, don't talk to me about Brahman, I don't know what it is. I have come back without knowing what it is. Vak says, mind says, never mind, let us just think of some other thing other than Brahman. It is very clear they haven't understood Brahman. So this is the virodha, this is the problem. The subject needs to know the truth and the content of the subject without objectifying itself. Ye kaise hoga? How is this possible? That is why you need help. And the one who knows I need help iti is a very, very blessed person. Very blessed person. It's not a place of disempowerment, like I said yesterday. It's a place of great empowerment to say, I know that I don't know. Thank God, because then you can seek help. If you know you don't know, you can seek help. That is a very nice thing to do. And seek help doesn't mean, oh, take care of me, take care of my unconscious, because after all you're supposed to be Tvameva Mata, Pita Tvameva, you are the mother, you are the father, you are this, you are that. The Guru's job is not to mother dysfunctionally, because that is what is the problem. The problem is the proliferation of all these unfulfilled raga and dvesha in the form of so many inner children that come out to play. At least if they played, it would be okay, but they play upon your nerves. They swing from nerve to nerve and they make life extremely difficult, extremely painful. So they don't come out to play, they come out to have a tantrum. And that tantruming inner child is the one that needs to be disciplined. That is what is at the feet of Lord Dakshinamurti as the Adi Guru. That is what is being talked about. That is what is being here demonstrated. And so it's not that the Guru coddles the inner children. The Guru has a unique way of ignoring the inner children completely and only teaching the adult. Because the Guru discriminates between the mixed up adult and inner children who come for the knowledge. Supposedly the adult comes for the knowledge, the inner child wants a mummy, wants a daddy, and so the Guru only teaches the adult after just giving a pacifier at best to the inner child. Stop crying here, keep sucking on this lollipop or something and go away. That is what the whole thing is. That inner split is the one that is in need of healing. So the Advaita begins right here, where the Dvaita is with the Ahankara as though split into two. One part is a responsible adult, identifies with the ignorance and says, I want to get rid of this ignorance. Hey Bhava Shankara, me Sharanam, I want to surrender to you, I want to gain this knowledge. Perfect. And then this adult is crowded, overpowered by all the unsettled, unresolved raga dvesha, and we call and painful memories of the past, apasmara. We call them inner children because they are recalcitrant, they cannot be disciplined, they cannot be reasoned with. You cannot apply logic on them. This is the situation. That is why they are called inner children, because just like children, they are all over the place. They cannot be corralled, they cannot be reasoned with, and they want instant gratification. That is what the raga and the dvesha are. So, Sharanagatam Vatsalaha, so the one that is mother-like to the adults that have come to the Guru, the one who is unequal to anybody else. So this is what the whole thing is. This is the this is why the Guru is described as a mother. And I told you this earlier also, because it takes a lot of compassion to teach Vedanta. Because sooner or later the inner children come out, even in the most mature adhikari students. Sooner or later the inner children come out to create problems, to blame the teacher, to say you are not looking at me, you are not paying me attention, I think you are answering somebody else's question but ignoring me, and I think you are looking at somebody else. All these, these things naturally come up. And when they come up, they have to be, the feelings have to be celebrated. One should not feel bad at this time. They have to be celebrated because finally it is safe enough to feel unsafe. It is safe enough finally to examine and look at it, because the Guru is giving this Atma, the Vedanta, Guru, Shastra are providing an arena of safety to be able to look at these difficult feelings which one had never been able to confront. So instead of coming to the wrong conclusion, which many people do, many people say, until I came to you, I was fine. Until I came to you, I was fine. As soon as I started studying Vedanta, bad feelings started to come up. That's not what it is. Vedanta is not the cause of the bad feelings. Vedanta just is the light that shines in all the crevices of the Antakarana and shows there is a cobweb here. Take a broom, sweep it up. That's all there is. There is a cobweb here, there is a cockroach of doubt, there is a mite of despair, there is a dust ball of, some kind of a depression. Sweep it. with the pages of the Upanishad. Sweep it away, it will go away. Where else will it go? Something needs to be scrubbed, some stains are more stubborn. Okay, let it take a lifetime. What does it matter? So long as one is in the Shastra, doesn't matter. That's why it's always better to be a Vedant in rather than Vedant out. Okay, yeah. So this is the whole situation. And so therefore the feelings and all that come up, that is because one is losing control. Like the mind and the speech could not objectify Brahman, and the ahankara feels lost, out of control. And when one is out of control, one feels lost at best, and the worst tendencies come out when one is out of control. So that that surrender is to let go of the control in knowing myself, and to understand that the I is already established as Satchidanandam Brahma. There is nothing to make, there is nothing to act, it is not a product of action, and I just need to relax and listen. And so therefore, He Sharanagata Vatsala, you are a mother-like being. In fact, all gurus are mother-like. They have a lot of compassion, they have a lot of love, and this is what the whole thing is. And so and in invoking the mother-like guru, what Totaka is saying is, give me that compassion, I need it right now. I need it right now in order to climb over the difficult, in order to cross over this difficult samsara and to get to the other side of knowledge. I need all the help that I can get. Please teach me right now. Please, please help. He Bhavashankara me sharanam. Last verse. He Deshika, yeah, me sharanam. Oh yeah, one word we have not seen. Tattvanidhe, Tattvanidhihi. And Tattvanidhihi means the one who is the treasurer of the Upanishad. If the Upanishad were a treasure chest, Adi Shankara is sitting on top of that and the key is in his hand. Tattvasya, nidhihi, the kosha, the whole compendium of self-knowledge is called tattva. Tat means Jagat Karanam Brahma, as in Tattvamasi. Tattva means, Tat means that. That always is something remote. You don't refer to, something close to you as that. That is my son, that is my reading glasses. I cannot say. I say, this is my reading glass. I don't say that because it is close to me. That, the preposition, that is reserved for things that are very, very far away. And Brahman, because I cannot objectify it, is very, very far away. What we forget in this process is Brahman need not be objectified in order to be known, because it is already self-evident Atma, I. It is already known as I. It is a partial knowledge and partial, I know I am, but I get confused and identify with everything that is finite. This is the problem. So therefore, what is the story over here? The story is that this one, Totaka, the student, is extolling the virtues of Adi Shankara as Tattvanidhi, the one who is the Nidhi of thatness, which is Brahman. So if all the Upanishads and all the Vedanta works were put in a big treasure chest, Adi Shankara is the key, not even has the key. He is the key to understanding, to unfolding according to how the tradition has unfolded all this knowledge. He is the key. He has the key. He is the wielder of the key. And then, so this is what is Tattvanidhi. He is the treasury of, he is the walking, talking compendium of knowledge. He is the treasury of this very knowledge. And then please don't sit on this chest. Open it for me. Show me how it is opened. The pedagogy of opening the statements, Mahavakyas like Tattvamasi, that is the treasure. Show me how it is opened. Transfer the Mahavakya to me. Share this treasure chest. Don't keep it all to yourself. I will become an adhikari, like I promised in the last verse. I will become an adhikari, blessed by you, doing seva to you. I may not understand everything all at once, but please keep teaching me. This is what he's saying, Please keep teaching me. He Bhavashankara, he Deshika, me Sharanam. And the concluding verse is again very beautiful, very fitting concluding verse. Let us look at that. Vidita namaya vishadaika kala na cha kinchana kanchanamasti guru drutameva vidhehi kripam sahajam bhavashankara deshika me sharanam bhavashankara deshika me sharanam. So he confesses, so if somebody is waiting to find out what is it that Totaka is bringing to this picnic. What picnic? Guru Shishya picnic. Guru is bringing a basket of Upanishad sandwiches where the one side of bread called Tat is equated with other side of bread called Tvam, and in between is the Tattva, the pedagogy, how to unfold this knowledge. That is the jam, that is holding the Tat and the Tvam together in one vision. Guru is bringing sandwiches. Guru is bringing something to drink so that everything goes easily. Some jokes, some stories. That is the juice with So what is the student bringing? Guru is also bringing a mat to sit on to be able to enjoy this picnic. So what is the student's contribution here? Is the student also bringing one dish? The dish of despair, the dish of hopelessness, that's all. The student is bringing nothing to the equation. It is all a gimme, 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 one-sided giving, where the guru is the giver and the student is the recipient. Why? Because this knowledge of the infinite is naturally priceless. You cannot put a price on it. And what are you, oh, but I washed the guru's clothes, Totaka may say. And like I said earlier, if the thing to say to Totaka, if he were to say that, is that if you hadn't washed, somebody else would have washed. Number one. Number two, it doesn't make any difference to the guru whether you washed his clothes or not. It makes a difference to you because you wanted the punya. Sukrite adhikrite bahudha. In many ways, I can become an adhikari by serving you. You are the one that is saying. So the service benefits you because your ragadveshas go down on the empirical level, and again your papa goes down, and then that is on the sukshma level, on the subtle level, and you become qualified for the knowledge. So really, what are you bringing to Vedanta? What is one bringing to Vedanta as a student is addressed in the final verse. In Totaka's absolute candid confession, the answer is nothing, zero, zip, nothing at all. So the picnic has been arranged by the Guru, the place is chosen, and then Guru brings the sandwiches, Mahavakya sandwiches. One side is Jiva, another side is Ishvara, and in the middle is the sweet jam of Upanishadic knowledge and pedagogy that brings the two together. And Guru brings some jokes and stories to help go down, to help assimilate this sandwich, and to help it digest properly. Some digestive enzymes are also given at the end of the meal. And then, so the Guru is bringing everything. What is the student bringing? Nothing. And so he says, Maya na vidita. I'm not even bringing an iota of contribution in the form of knowledge. Maya, by me, na vidita, is not known. Vishada Vistarena in detail. Eka Kala. Not even one branch of knowledge has been mastered by me. Not even one art form I know. So Guru brought the picnic. Can I at least make a nice rangoli around that whole area we are sitting? Even that I don't know. In fact, my name is Jack. Jack means what? Of all trades. I have mastery in nothing. I don't know anything. And here he seems to be alluding to the other stalwart students that Adi Shankara is surrounded by. Adi Shankara is surrounded by all other kinds of students. Sureshwaracharya, and as soon be Adi Shankara should think something, and Sureshwaracharya has already written something. Adi Shankara writes Bhashya, and then Sureshwaracharya takes the Bhashya and writes Vartika, a commentary of a commentary in verse. Brihadaranya Anya Upanishad Vartika. So not just not just any kind of small Vartika. Sureshwaracharya is not writing a haiku, a poem of 3 lines, 5 syllables. No, that anybody can write. The sky is blue, something like that. No, this is all, haiku and all these things for the likes of Sureshwaracharya are like baby talk. Goo goo gaga. That's how it is. But they are writing in complex verse a commentary to 100-page Upanishad and a commentary of Adi Shankara's commentary, which was another 50 pages, 100 pages. So this is what they are writing. They are actually Sampradaya Vit and Sampradaya Krit. They know the tradition, they are furthering the tradition. And he says, Totaka says, I am no Sureshwara. I cannot even I'm not even worthy of making eye contact with one like so erudite as Sureshwara. And Padmapada, don't even talk to me about him, because he is just so knowledgeable, so learned. And Hastamalaka, Sureshwara has got Adi Shankara's, what is that called, the scholarship. Padmapada has got Adi Shankara's bhakti and shraddha towards the Guru. Padmapada embodies that. And Padmapada was also a protector of the Guru. And then this one, finally, Hastamalaka has got the Jnana Nishtha of Adi Shankara. It's almost like all the students have taken away all your qualities. They have imbibed this from you, and here is yours truly, namely me, this little Totaka, who doesn't know anything, who cannot lay claim to any branch of knowledge. Vidita namaya vishada ekakala. Ekakala api maya vishada na vidita. In detail, I have not applied my mind even to a single thing. Perhaps I have wasted my entire life, but this is where we are. This is the truth. And he's not trying to be, a doormat here. It is the student's expression of humility. And then he says that, okay, I don't know the Shastra at all. I don't know any of the, what is that, Upanga, Ayurveda, I don't know, Dhanur Vidya, I don't know, Nakshatra Vidya, I don't know, Shastra Vidya, I don't know. Then I don't know any of the Angas of the Veda. Shiksha, Kalpaha, Vyakaranaha, Niruktaha, Chandas, Jyotisha. I don't know any of these things. I don't know pronunciation, I don't know synonyms, I don't know how to do rituals. And I don't know how to, I don't know grammar, I don't know anything. And Chandas, I don't know prosody, poetry. I mean, he is writing that, so he is saying that, so you can imagine how humble he is. I don't know prosody, I don't know poetry, I don't know ritual, I don't know grammar, I don't know synonyms, I don't know dictionary, I don't know the language, I don't know anything. And what to talk of the 4 Vedas? In India we have certain surnames. Dvivedi. Dvivedi means the one who knows 2 Vedas. And if you go and ask any Dvivedi off the street, which are the two Vedas you know, they'll say, I don't know. It was my great, 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 great grandfather that was given the title by some Maharaja. And then there is Trivedi, three Vedas. That person may not even know the Gayatri Mantra, the current Trivedi. How to pronounce, they won't even know one mantra, but they are happily attaching the surname, basking in the laurels of the ancestors, attaching and enjoying the surname Trivedi. And then what? Chaturvedi, the one who knows all the four Vedas. Somebody in the line. So like this, we have all these surnames. Vajapeyi, somebody who had done a very complex, what is that, ritual, fire ritual called Vajapeya. Vajapeyi. So like this, all these things are there, but this person doesn't know anything. So like that, he says, I am not a Dvivedi, I am not a Chaturvedi, I am not a Trivedi, I am nothing, I don't know the Veda, I don't know anything. I just know I have half-baked knowledge. Okay, as though that was not bad enough. There is still more bad news in the second line, because many people, they don't know the Veda, but they have they don't know Vedanta, and they know that their time has gone. Somehow they didn't have enough mumuksha, enough jigyasa was not there, enough mumuksha was not there, and so what? And so maybe I can, I can just support other people who are studying, because whatever God given means I have, I can give it to an ashram, I can give it to a teacher who's teaching. Even that is not there, because you see, when we studied in the ashrams, in the Gurukula, there would be people who came. There would be people who came just to see us study, and seeing us studying, they made them happy, because they were the donors of the Gurukula. They kept everything going, and then they kept the teaching going, because they didn't have the time. They were just big business people. They were running factories and all these things, but they had the humility, they had the Shraddha and the Bhakti. And then what did they do? They would support the teacher and the teaching. And so he says, if you are expecting that from me, oh Guru, you will definitely be disappointed. Na kinchana, not even a little bit. Kinchana, even an iota. Kanchanam, what is that? Gold. Because in those days, gold was the currency. Nacha kinchana kanchana, and furthermore, cha, nacha, and furthermore, nacha kinchana kanchanam asti. No, not even a gold coin. Forget two gold coins to rub together, not even a single piece of gold is there. In other words, I did not gather a single gooseberry from your gooseberry, golden gooseberry miracle. I did not catch one. No. Because my mind was on you. My mind was on trying to know you. I haven't amassed any wealth. I cannot support your pithas. I cannot support your teachings. I cannot do anything. Nacha kinchana kanchana masti guru. And I don't come from a wealthy lineage, of independently wealthy parents who are going to leave me a trust fund. No. Nacha kinchana kanchanam asti, hey Guru. And yet, what do I have? I have nothing but Shraddha and Bhakti for you, which I have talked about in these 8 verses, which I have talked about endlessly in these 8 verses. And let them be the tears of Shraddha, the tears of Bhakti, the joyful tears of reverence, commitment and devotion are all that I have to bring to wash your feet. And therefore I am entitled for this knowledge. Therefore I can demand. Dhrutam eva vidhehi. Dhrutam means just now, I want it quickly. Like children at the dining table, they bang the spoons. Give me now. Hungry now. Give me now. Feed me now. Because I've already in the last verse invoked you as the mother. Did you forget? Oh Shankara, I said Sharanagata Vatsala Tattvanidhe. So you are the mummy, I told you. and I'm entitled to your love, even though I'm a useless student. I'm not writing commentary on commentary on commentary. I'm not your protector. I don't have your nishtha. I don't have your knowledge. I don't have your wisdom. But what do I have? I have a mind that is eager to learn. I have a mind, if it's not surrendered, that is eager to surrender, that will surrender later with your grace. So then what do I need right now? Give me your grace. That's what I need. Vidhehi, it's a command, lot, imperative mood. Give me. Give me, Vidhehi, give me right now. It's like that fellow who asked Bhagavan. Bhagavan said to him, all you need is patience. And he got very agitated and said, give me patience right now. Puja Swamiji's story. Okay, yeah. So give me patience. Right now I want patience. Right now I want knowledge. Dhrutam. Dhrutam means quickly. How can you say that? This knowledge takes such a long time to master, one may be thinking. Why? Because based on one's own experience. I took Totakashtakam retreat. Before that, I took Prathasmaranam, Thanksgiving Vedanta retreat. Before that, I took the summer camp, Brihadaranyaka, Vartika. Before that, it was Before that, it was Labor Day weekend retreat. Before that, it was some other retreat. Before that, it's just keeping on. That's why it's called retreat, because that means repeatedly I'm taking. And then what? I still, I am fresh as a blank slate of Vedanta. Because somehow it becomes very clear. By the end of the retreat, I feel like I know. And then the retreat goes. And then what? And the knowledge also seems to go, the clarity seems to go, the confusion abides. It's like it's like English weather. In England, what happens? Suddenly the clouds disperse and the sun comes out. And all the people say in their wonderful accent, oh, what a lovely day it is, isn't it? And and all English sentences have to end with a question. Otherwise, it's not a sentence. This is how they talk. It's a wonderful weather, isn't it? One person will say to the other, yes, it is, isn't it? The other one will also say, isn't it? And then after a few back and forth of isn't it, suddenly the clouds come back. And they find themselves standing under a downpour, not of knowledge, rain. Okay, yeah. So it's like the English weather. This clarity comes. Last day of Totakashtaka, yay! And by the time I have finished saying the last Y of yay, the ucharana, the pronunciation of yay, and then suddenly what? Oh, I don't feel so good all of a sudden. The English weather is inside. And why is it called weather? Because you don't know whether this knowledge will actually result in you gaining the Atma Jnanam or not. The doubt is there. That is why it is called weather, pun intended. This is why it is, because it is so unpredictable. So this is what the common understanding of this Shastra is. You have to study. First you have to gain the, what is it, all those six pack. Shama, check, because by this time one is bored. Dhamma, slept off. Uparati, yeah, Titiksha, give me that right now. And then Shraddha, been there, done that. Samadhanam, one-minded focus. All this, yeah, I'm gaining. Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam, that I all had from the last life itself. Still nothing is happening. This is the common feeling. But the truth is, knowledge is instantaneous. It's as instantaneous as you seeing me on Zoom. That's why it's called Zoom. Zip, quickly, Dhrutam. What effort does it take to see me on Zoom? No effort. If the eyes are open and the eyes are not, and you're wearing your glasses and they don't have cataracts, you have taken care of the vision, correcting whatever is there. And then the seeing me is instant. And even more, at least you can say, if you see me, you are seeing the Swami of the past. Why? Because the time that light reaches your eyes and sight takes place, there is a small gap, a few nanoseconds, and in that few nanoseconds it's always the Swami of the past. When you look at the firmament, it's the stars of the past. You never can look at anything in what is, become very common parlance, real time. Real time always lags behind what you call real time, and because that which is real is timeless, that's why you cannot have real time. It's an oxymoron. And because you're always looking at something in the past. And so, but this knowledge is instant, it's instantaneous, more than instant oatmeal, faster than seeing something. It is instant. Why? Because you are everything, you are the whole. And this is a means of knowledge. And when the means of knowledge, like in this example, the eyes contact what needs to be seen, i.e., the Swami, sight has to take place. Similarly, Vedanta Shastra is a means of knowledge and operated by the teacher. When the teacher says, you are whole, you are free, that is your Swarupa, it instantly happens. The Akhandakara Vritti is instantly created. Instantly one knows I am one with everything. Instantly one enjoys this knowledge. Therefore, Dhrutameva Vidhehi. Give it to me instantly, because this knowledge is instantaneous, because I need not be established as an entity, because I am that entity who cognizes and who establishes everything. And I am that, everything is an extension of me. Everything is a projection of me alone as Ishvara. And so therefore what? I don't need to be established. Therefore the knowledge is removing the mistaken notions of the self, which happens instantaneously. You are not as good as this body. You are not the complaining mind. You are not the body that you drag around from day to day. You are not the complaining mind. You are not the ahankara that is claiming the body and mind to be itself. You are not all that you possess, because you can put away all your possessions, you are still intact. You are Ananda, because in sleep you have no complaints. So the nature of you is Ananda. When somebody teaches, when somebody who knows teaches this, instantly it is known. And then what? Like the English weather, the Ragadveshas, the clouds of Ragadvesha come from the channel. And what channel? The wrong channel. I am no good, I am an idiot. The channel that keeps replaying itself, where only reruns are there, that kind of a channel. This is where the bad weather comes. Bad weather in the form of the proliferating, unresolved wrong ideas about oneself. And maybe that's what takes time to go, because one has to live in this knowledge. One has to remove all those viparita bhavana, maybe that is needed. But the sadhana for Atma Jnanam, the main means through which this Jnanam is gained, is what? Is instantaneously. You see, all you have to do is sit in front of the teacher and the teaching happens. Thank God it is instant, and thank God it is instant, definitely, and thank God you are not in charge of it, that's why it is instant. The mind is a place where the knowledge shines, not an agent of this knowledge. The mind does not produce this knowledge. The mind is a place where the knowledge is recognized. And when we recognize this, instantly the ajnanam goes. So all of you who've been studying for so long cannot say, I don't know. You have to say, I am in the process of knowing, I know, and I am taking care of the ragadveshas so that the knowledge continues to abide. That's why there is a committed exposure needed. If the Shravanam is curtailed, what happens? There is a kind of a badha, there is a kind of a obstacle to assimilating this knowledge. So for a length of time Shravanam, and then if needed Mananam, doubt removal, and again if needed Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means chewing the cud of the Shastra, just like sometimes people, in order to pass the time, they chew what is that called, chewing gum. Yeah, chewing gum they chew. And so, the Shastra becomes the chewing gum. You keep on, you keep on chewing it, and Shastra is even better than the chewing gum. After 5 minutes, what happens to the chewing gum? It becomes nissara, tasteless. Tasteless. You may as well have a rubber band in your mouth. It's the same difference. But the Shastra doesn't lose the sweetness and the taste. If you start chewing it today and then you take a break at the night, like children do this disgusting thing. They take out the chewing gum and keep it safely, and then in the morning they take it back. So let's say you take a break, keep out the Upanishad chewing gum, and then take it back and start assimilating it again in the morning. It doesn't lose the taste, fresh as ever. Pura eva navacha. It is always new, it is always fresh. Why? It is always new because it is always you. And you are never bored of yourself. You are never tired of yourself. You are never sick of yourself. And at no point do you detest yourself. Never. You is always a subject of love. You is always a subject of, kautuka, a wonder. You is always a subject of delight, and reveling in this you, one can never get tired, one can never get bored. But first, oh Guru, I have to get there, give me this knowledge right now. Why? Because I have done Sharanagati. I can ask, I can demand this knowledge. Just like people say, I want a retreat. And that's how this Totakashtakam retreats, it was all from the group of Philadelphia people. They said, we want to study Totakashtakam. I had no idea to teach Totakashtaka. I had not any thought even. And then, they said, we want to study. So I said, okay. They said, Dhrutam eva vidhehi. Give it right now. We want to study. I said, okay, let us do this at the end of the year, May as well. So this is how it is. So there is a certain atmiyata, there is a certain intimacy in the demand made by the student. And it's a lovely demand. It's not a demand, take care of my inner child, make me in a good mood. He doesn't ask for any of that. He doesn't even say, give me the teachings. He says, Kripam Sahajam, shower me with your kripa, shower me with your grace, shower me with your compassion, so that I get qualified for this teaching. And there is a certain intimacy in being able to ask in the imperative sense. I can't wait, my head is on fire. Douse me with your compassion so that I can gain this teaching. And Sahajam means this kripa that comes to you naturally. Janmana sahajayate iti sahajaha. Very beautiful word. Janmana saha, along with birth, that which is born. So for you, your compassion is innate. It was born along with you. And in fact, the Adi Shankara, so many stories are there of the compassion. There is one story even that a demon came to kill him. He said, and the demon, was very, what's the word for it? The demon was very honest about it, an honest demon, if there is such a thing. And this honest Rakshasa came and said to Adi Shankara, I am going to eat you. When is a good time? Very polite demon. Honest and polite demon. This is the story, okay? And Adi Shankara didn't say, come tomorrow at 4 o'clock and then tell the students, I think we need to push off from here. Somebody is after my life. We need to push off. I have just given him the time to come, and before that time we should be gone. Let's set out right now and walk all night, and by tomorrow 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he will not be having me for tea. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said to the demon, any time is good actually, but only make sure that you don't come when student Padmapada is around, because he's a warrior and a protector, and he's going to pounce on you and then destroy you. So not only does he give the demon the permission to swallow him up, he also tells the demon when is not a good time, when there is danger for the demon's life. This is kripa. Sahaja Kripa, if you want an example of Sahaja Kripa. And of course, we should not leave such stories without an ending. The demon does come. Padmapada was hiding in the bushes because Padmapada heard this. Padmapada heard Adi Shankara say, please come, shh, not so loud, when Padmapada is not around, you come. So Padmapada decided not to eat or drink and just protect Adi Shankara. And then Padmapada, unbeknownst to people, knew Kung Fu, and then he just pounced on the demon and flipped him. Like the clothes that Totaka washed, like that he gave the demon a few nice bashes, and I don't know what happened to the demon. Maybe he cried, "Mummy, mummy, mummy," and ran away with a few injuries. This is what the story is. And so this is Sahaja Kripa. How much more compassionate can you get? It is just amazing. And so this is Adi Shankara's personage. This is Adi Shankara's nature. And this is in fact your own innate nature. This is everybody's innate nature. In Adi Shankara we have a display of this compassion without any inhibitions, an uninhibited compassion. And this is what happens when when does this happen? With the assimilation of self knowledge, there is uninhibited compassion, uninhibited love, and that which comes out is uninhibited, because as the Kathopanishad prophesizes, the Jnana Purusha, the person of knowledge, nakaschit gopayitum ichhati, does not desire to protect anything, even one's own body. And I saw this towards the end in Pujya Swamiji's life. And here he said, I'm going to give up dialysis because I know Bhagavan has told me my time is up. I know I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to have this anymore. It's going to be of no use. Then, he had to assuage the people. People who said, no, Swamiji, you cannot die in America. Somebody told him this. I was there. And Pujya Swamiji said, why not? So many people die in America. Why can't I die in America? Why can't I do that? No. We have an idea for. They didn't say this, but this was the sum total of what people had an idea of how Swamiji should leave the body. Idyllic, by the ashram in Rishikesh. Very lovely idea, but it was one's own collective subjective idea. And so Swamiji said, okay, I'll go to Rishikesh. He knew once he went there he would be caught, because everybody said, I want your last darshan. I'm coming, and I cannot take, my mother is coming to see you, somebody wrote. She cannot take the plane, so I'm bringing her by train. And where does she live? Kanyakumari. And where is Rishikesh? In North India. Kanyakumari is the southern tip. 3 days the train will come. And so, okay, one more dialysis treatment in order to do this. And then from his village, 25 people came. Another 3 days from a South Indian village to come all the way to Rishikesh. Then Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, he can't come just whenever he wants. He had all these busy schedule, and when he was going to come in another 10 days. And Pujya Swamiji just allowed all kinds of things to be done to his body, to be done to his, done to all the medical interventions, to kidneys, heart, lungs, everything. He allowed it because of the compassion. Even the Svecha Maranam, which is the privilege and the right of the Jnani. Svecha Maranam means being able to give up the body when you want. He sacrificed that even. That is Sahaja Kripa. It is so beautiful. And then one time I asked him, I said, how can you allow all these things to happen? You're already, the body is in so much discomfort and pain. And he told me something I will never forget. He said, my body is no longer my body. It has become Jagat Shariram. It has become the body of the whole universe. It has become the body of all the people who claim it as their own. But even in that pain, he made a joke. He said, but the pain I have to endure. They happily make decisions about the body, but I have to endure the pain. There was just a ghost of a smile playing on his lips in and through the pain. It was just so beautiful and touching to see that kind of a compassion. Adi Shankara, of course, BC, and Pujya Swamiji right now. We have seen this. And so, He Bhava Shankara, He Deshika, Me Sharanam, I am in your refuge. Don't refuse me this compassion, and make me ready for this knowledge. Make me have the only thing that is worth having, because of which I can see everything, I can know everything. Teach me that one thing, knowing which everything is as good as known. Very beautiful text, and kudos to all of you who have attended, and kept all the other pressing things in your lives and taken the time to attend it. And my prayer is that may this text bless you just like it blessed Totakacharya. May it bless you too with the greatness of self knowledge, with the bigness of one's being. And my new year wish to all of you is, may you become bigger than all the problems that confront you, that are in your lives. May you grow to be bigger and bigger and bigger within, more emotional maturity, more shanti, more accommodation. May more compassion flow, so that whatever you encounter is just a little mosquito bite. That is my prayer, and that is my wish. So what I would like is, just to get from you a favorite thing, favorite something. Some people may need to leave, so let me say the closing prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. If you can stay for a little while, I think it will be worthwhile for those who can stay. And so you can, just tell me a favorite moment in this text, a favorite piece of teaching, a highlight, a favorite moment. You can just unmute yourself and talk, or you can type in the chat box whatever you desire. You can do that. Okay. Yeah.
Swaminiji, thank you so much for a wonderful class. We very much loved it and grew a lot this week. Thank you. I think there were two highlights, but I'll just mention because I don't want to steal anyone else's thunder. I want everyone to be able to say something. I really have been thinking a lot about what you said about being in service of the knowledge instead of mastering the knowledge. I think that was really profound.
Yeah, being in service of the knowledge. Thank you, Chris. Anyone else?
For me, Swaminiji, most important is to understand that to be a student that will get the knowledge, to look at the Guru as a representation of the knowledge, not just the knowledge.
Yes. Very nice. And I have also given the January, there is a thing that has come, a PDF I have sent. January 2021 it is called. Please download it. It will give you next year a few programs. Some of the dates are set, but the timings and all will be communicated later. So you can just download that document that says January 2021. Anyone else? You want to share anything?
Yeah, this is Nate.
Yes.
Awesome day. You said my name several times, saying innate.
Ah, yes. Wonderful. Very nice. Innate compassion means the compassion that is innate. Yeah.
Correct.
Can I ask for a favor?
Yeah.
I want to share Swachhadevaraya story with everybody. They can go to my website.
Yeah, you just write the website. We can't, we don't have time to share the stories and such a big story. So you just write the website in the chat pod and everybody will go there. No problem. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
I forgot, I should have mentioned this. I really want to thank our whole family really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we
I couldn't hear because there is a
Swamiji.
thumping now noise. What was
Oh, I
that?
was saying, I
Namaste,
failed to
Swamiji.
mention how much I appreciated that
Sorry.
Aruna did the dance program, even with all the
Yeah,
obstacles.
the dance program was fantastic. And then
That
I
was really
think
beautiful.
I think Aruna ji is waiting to speak. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I just want, Swamiji, it just made me so much touched when Protaka Acharya said, surrender to my ignorance. That's what we all need to do, actually.
Yes.
Not we, but at least I want to do that.
Yes. May you do that. Wonderful. Anybody else?
Swamiji,
Swamiji,
this is Bhaskar here.
every words what Totkachar has written has touched my heart, and thank you for explaining. I may not be able to say, but I have thoroughly, even very much blessed.
It was very evident seeing your face from day one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vidita
Yes.
Sasad
Yeah.
Sudhajalase
Yes. Yes.
Vimalam Charanam
Yes.
Karuna Varunam
Correct.
Varunale.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
So beautiful.
Yes, I could see your face was just so delighted. I could see that it was very, very evident.
Thank you, Swami.
Oh,
I'm looking forward for next. Now I'm retired, so I will attend.
yeah.
Other.
Please, you download that. Did everybody get that Jan 2021 PDF? You got that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to check.
Yeah,
it.
look in the chat pod, and if you want, I'll put it again so that you have it. Everybody can have it. Okay, yeah, I have just sent it again. Look in the chat pod, and you can download that for next year's program. What all is there? Some of the things have TBA, but we will fill it up as we go along. So that
I'm
this is
not
just
that
so that
much
you
used
can do
to
that.
chat box, but if
Yeah.
I can get an email.
Yeah, we'll send it to you by email. Here only there is one chat, in Zoom. Just click on that chat, you will get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Swamini, I want to say a few things. This is Leela here.
Yes, I know. Tell me.
Yesterday, I went for the COVID shot and had to wait 7 hours
Oh my.
outside.
Oh my.
And but I used my time so wonderfully thanks to all these teachings that have come over the years to me.
Yeah.
And I was looking for this all-pervasive Atma that you were talking about today.
Yeah.
And I kind of, encountered everybody I encountered, everybody I talked to. The weather was so scrumptious, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was looking at, the one behind all these, the witness, and it was just a fantastic, practical experiment.
Wonderful. Very nice.
Really,
Vedanta in
very
action. Vedanta in
That
action.
was 1 week retreat, Swami.
Yeah.
My mind is so much refreshed now.
Wonderful. Very, very nice.
I hurt and bruised later. Today I'm hurt and bruised, but yesterday it was fantastic.
Yes, that is very
That's only
nice.
the body. Yeah, the body.
Yeah. So that is wonderful.
Thank you.
Anybody
Thank you
else?
so much.
Namaste,
I
Swami.
look forward to the.
Namaste, Swamiji. This is Karthik and Archana. It was a great class, and today's class was amazing. The last paragraph was the best.
Yes.
I think I really like the statement about just grace me enough knowledge to at least gain the knowledge. Just give me the
Absolutely.
grace so that I can gain the knowledge.
Yes, that's what it is.
So it was really great. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Hariam Swaminiji.
Harihi Om.
Pranam to Vimalam Saranam.
Om. Thank you.
Swaminiji, Akanksha just wants to say.
Akanksha, yes,
to
she
you.
waved at me just now. I waved back. Yes. Tell me. Hi, sweetie. Tell me.
Nothing much. Just wanted to say Happy New Year and good night.
Oh, Happy
Or
New
good
Year to
morning for you.
Good morning for me. Good night to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Kirti, looks like you're in your car. Are you in your car?
Yeah. I was just going somewhere and I attended the entire
No,
chat.
I'm in my parents' bedroom.
No, I cannot miss the class.
I admire your dedication. Very nice. So Kirti is
very,
taking
very
her
blessed.
Kirti is taking her class from the car. Very nice. Fantastic. That means your knowledge will not go bekar. Okay? Yeah, that's what it means.
Thank you. Happy New Year. And
Happy New Year, darling. Happy New Year to everybody. And yeah, you know the next thing we are going to have is what is that? The next retreat. Our next retreat will be Martin Luther King's Junior Day weekend retreat. Okay? Yeah. I don't know what I'll teach, but something nice we will have. Okay? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Swamiji.
All the best. And if you want to be, if some of you are not on the mailing list and you want to be, Chris, would you like to write your email address? You email Chris and he will put you on the waiting list. Yeah, he will put you on the waiting list. Email your put your email address. Yeah. Yeah, in the chat you can see Chris's email. Yeah. Yes, tell me.
I generally share the PDF, everything is shared with the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
With
Share.
all the members.
Yeah, that is okay. But there are other people also than in Philadelphia. So if you want to be on the mailing list, if anybody is not on the mailing list and you would like to be on the mailing list, please, do this. Please, yeah. And Shinshin wants to share some chanting recordings of the Totaka Ashtaka chanted by Swamis in Anekatti, etc. Yeah, you can share that as well. No problem. All right.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Take care. Yeah, say.
Thank you. It was wonderful, Swamiji. And the whole series, like when you started the introduction, you told about the Stuti is not to benefit the Guru or the Shishya or the person who is praising the Guru, but it is for the other Vedantins, and it was
Yes.
evident in every other classes that you had taken.
Absolutely. It is just a wonderful text. I'm glad all of you were there. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And then, we will be in touch. This is not a goodbye. This is see you sooner than later. Okay? Yeah. Happy New Year. Take care. All the best.
Thank you so much, Swami.
Yeah. Harinder, you did not share the flyer. I thought you were going to share the PDF of the flyer. Why haven't you done that? Please do that. Yeah, we are having a 15 minutes New Year's Eve japa and a New Year's Day puja, and I was waiting to receive the flyer so that I could advertise, I could talk about it, but Harinder will give the flyer just now. You can download that. You can attend on Zoom if you would like. 15 minute, what is that? 15 minute mantra japa, and then 15 minute full Lavendravya Abhisheka and Puja at Lord Dakshinamurti Sannidhi. It has come. It is called flyer.pdf. Please look at that and you will understand. What?
I'll put the Zoom link separately here, Swami.
No, but how will people go if the Zoom link is not there? It is there. It is not there in the flyer?
Not in the flyer.
Okay. Put it in the chat pod. Yeah, put it in the chat pod. So, yeah. And so, wish you wonderful few days ahead. And I cannot, I can say wish you a happier new year than 2020. 2020 was just a washout. May 2021 be full of health, full of good things. That is my prayer. Tat Sat.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Take care. Om.
Love you so much.
Yeah. Om.